Today I donated whole blood again at a nearby blood donation center by the American Red Cross. And my appointment was for 9:30 a.m. Initially, Dad was going to donate with me, but some days ago, the American Red Cross seemed to cancel his appointment. And my current theory is that he got canceled because he failed to confirm his appointment, since the American Red Cross notifies you by email to confirm your appointment. So I got that email about a day after Dad got his appointment canceled by the American Red Cross. Either way, only I ended up donating today. As such, I've had to be pretty careful today, at least in my mind, to try not to use this arm to get up, or at least in those cases to use my elbow. Dad and I left about 8:45 in the morning. And as tradition, Dad and I went to McDonald's for breakfast. Although today Dad didn't have any coupons for McDonald's. He got us a hash brown and a breakfast sandwich for each of us. I think he may have gotten... I don't remember him getting any beverage for himself, though he got me orange juice, basically a plastic glass of orange juice. And he got me a breakfast biscuit of sausage and egg. And I drank the orange juice after I had eaten the hash brown first and then the sandwich within our car. Even after all of that, I ended up going into the blood donation center at 9:23 a.m. And I ended up being a handful of minutes early for my blood donation appointment. I showed him my blood donor ID through the blood donor app I have on my phone. And the process ended up going smoothly. For the pre-donation screening, I had my blood pressure checked, my finger poked. In this case, it was this finger, as it is for every time, since that's the longest finger. And it's the one that's always used for the hemoglobin test. One of the staff members considered using the left arm for the donation, but she couldn't really detect a vein, at least not as well as for this one. Typically, the right arm is used for my whole blood donations. In 20 plus blood donations, I only recall the left arm being successfully used maybe once or twice. I don't have the exact number of times in my head. And nothing's wrong with the left arm. At least nothing's dramatically different between the arms. Maybe it's just that they have an easier time finding a vein. In the right arm. Either way, the donation went smoothly, and while I was in the recovery area, whereas a safety precaution, they have you be there for 10 to 15 minutes before you leave the center. I called my dad to let him know I had completed the blood donation. I had the staff at the center change the TV channel to a news channel. So I could film the after donation video vlog. With the lowest risk of copyright concerns. In this case, I think the channel was NBC News. Yeah, but the screen ended up saying Sky News. And they talked about the ongoing war in Ukraine, between Ukraine and Russia. They had an Easter raffle in which you fill out a yellow slip with your name and phone number. Phone number so they can contact you in case you win. By either guessing the number of jelly beans within a jar within a basket, or come the closest to correctly guessing. The prize in actuality is a $25 Amazon gift card, though the yellow slips said a 17-inch chocolate bunny, though I think at least my slip said a 17-inch chocolate bunt. And I ended up notifying the staff of this. Who had a laugh at that. I basically said it was done accidentally. Well, Dad in the car ended up saying it was done intentionally by someone in order to be funny. Yeah, both theories are technically possible. You would go like this for bunny and like this for bunt. At least on my keyboard. The thing is, this keyboard configuration is very common. At least according to my experience, I don't even really recall any other configuration for keyboards. Following the blood donation, me and Dad were home at his place for a handful of hours. From about 10:30 a.m. to roughly 3 p.m. Hey, I gotten plenty of rest today. And in the morning, before the time where I even started getting ready to donate, I had founded a school in Area 2 of the Congregate Game Sword Fight. I enjoy all the new gear options that are available to my character within that game, such as the new Falcreon, Scimitar, and Koplesh and Rapier swords, the new Kite shield, and the new Garon shield. I think the author of the game did a very good job designing them visually to bring them to life for my character. The new Bregain and scale mail armor ends up looking quite stylish. And Area 2 introduces some new mechanics, such as the ability for certain swords to have a cut percentage and a thrust percentage, which I think maybe gives you damage bonuses. There are new rivals with stars to unlock. Completing training levels in this new second area gives you bonus silver lineage coins and probably new silver lineage coins, and probably will give new gold lineage coins too. At 3 p.m., Dad took me out for driving practice at the high school parking lot. There were a few cars in the middle. I initially thought they were to the back side of the parking lot from the perspective of what it looks like when you enter it. Good. I think we did practice for somewhere between half an hour to an hour. Practice turning, easing into brakes, and easing acceleration for smooth turns. Dad told me that my handling of the car has gotten a lot better. I'm no longer crossing my arms at all when making turns. There were a handful of points in which we had to adjust the practice as people approached the parking lot. Walking either toward it or around its perimeter, and at one point by a car parking into that parking lot. But we all ended up doing fine with the necessary adjustments. And after driving practice, Dad and I went to Salvatore's for lunch, essentially. Dad doesn't like the $10 two Thin Thins deal that Salvatore's has on Saturdays. And so maybe Dad considers those kind of pizzas to not be very filling. So we ended up getting a regular large pizza with his reward points. It came to 200 points. That's the amount that had to be redeemed for a large pizza. We paid for the toppings, which in this case were regular pepperoni and bacon. I believe it was I who suggested the bacon, and Dad was the one who wanted the pepperoni. I initially, long before we even came to Salvatore, suggested a ham and bacon pizza, but Dad likes getting pepperoni on pizza, so we got a pepperoni and bacon pizza. Dad got a few beers while it wasn't safe for me to have any alcohol after donating, so I got this root beer instead. Though before drinking any of it, I waited for the pizza to come out. And of that, together, Dad and I ended up eating most of it. And we ended up bringing a handful of these square pieces home in a box. I ended up falling asleep on the spare room bed at some point, and throughout it all I did some light work on the 99th Dan Hamming. Essentially, I'm working on tinting the windows within the trio's car to that effect. Basically, I've been using the snipping tool to circle around the windows of the car, except in order to get a perfect outlining of the window areas with the snipping tool, I have to go around them, so I use Lunapic in order to use the transparent background tool in order to get rid of any single colors that aren't part of the window area. And then I use either the adjust light tool or the replace color tool in order to make the window area completely black. And thankfully, because Vyond Studio has a occupancy tool for both custom props, I don't have to deal with using that alpha transparency tool. That tool on Ludapic works fine, it's just that it's easier to adjust how opaque I want a custom prop to be if I have the option within Vyond Studio.